Hello everybody and welcome back. Today we're talking about a world-class recording studio with a world-class gear collection.
It's better now. 'Cause if you're still fighting, then I'm still fighting too. And if you're still trying, then I'm right there with you. 'Cause if you're still fighting, then I'm still fighting too. And if you're still trying, then I'm right there with you.
Thank you guys so much for tuning in. This past week I had the opportunity to go to June Audio, which is a world-class recording studio that's about 30 minutes away from where I live. It's absolutely incredible, and we went in there because we were mixing two songs from two different projects. One of them is from the band that I have called Barrow and the Tourists. The other one is from my solo project, which is just under my name, Mac Wright. But most of you are probably here to talk about guitars. So this video is going to have two sections. The first section is going to be about the gear that is at the recording studio and a special opportunity that we have with that gear. And the second part is going to be talking about the recording studio. A quick note before we move on, the two solos that you're going to hear today are actually from the two songs that we were mixing in the studio this past Monday. If you like them, please go to Spotify or Apple Music or wherever you find your music and follow Barrow and the Tourists and Mac Wright, and you'll be able to hear them when they are released in the coming months. You can find a link to those two artist pages down below. The studio owner, Scott Wiley, is an incredible engineer and producer, and he's been doing it for the better part of 30 years. And his clientele list includes names such as John Legend, Neon Trees, Joshua James, The Killers, Post Malone, The Aces, and even the kids' TV show Yo Gabba Gabba. In addition to that, he's been collecting gear for over 30 years now. And while we were in the studio yesterday, I had the opportunity to ask him, hey, do you ever rent out your gear? And he said, absolutely. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you some video footage, and I'll walk through some of the various pieces that he has. But here's what I'd like for you guys to do. If you see a piece of gear in there that you've always wanted to hear, or if there's two amps in there that you want to hear side by side, or if there are two guitars that you want to hear side by side or something like that, I need you to put it in the comments down below so that I can go and get it and make a video about it. And also like and subscribe so you can see it when it comes back. So here's some of the footage that I gathered. Guitars that I saw included a couple of Danelectros, a handful of gold foil harmonies, as well as a Stratocaster, Mustang basses, a couple of Telecasters, both single coil and humbucker, P basses, Jazzmasters, Jaguars, some 12-string Rickenbackers, some Rickenbacker basses. Check out this old Hofner bass. I think I saw 5 different Gretsch guitars, as well as a Les Paul with humbuckers, a Les Paul double cutaway with P90s, a 56 gold top Les Paul, a nice little SG, an ES295, an ES330, nice Jack Cassidy bass, SG with both humbuckers and P90s, as well as a handful of different sized bodied acoustic guitars. Last year, my band and I were in that studio recording a song called Icy Stars, where we had a full orchestra, and the guitar that I played on that was a 1954 Gibson J45. I don't know if the one that's pictured there is that J45 or if he has it stocked away somewhere. In addition to that, their website lists that they have a 1961 ES335. So there's more guitars that aren't even pictured here and are probably locked away in cases or something like that. In addition to that, if we look at amps, got a Matchless, a Victoria, looks like a Super Reverb, a Trainer. There's a nice Princeton, a Deluxe Reverb. I think that might be a twin. I don't know. I passed over it too quickly. An old Silvertone, an Ampeg. Those are 2 Benson amplifiers. I love them. I've used them on different records. They sound amazing. I know they have a Shure Ombre, a High Watt, little Marshall half stack, some more Supros, and then of course a ton of pedals. So feel free to take your time, look at those, pause, see what you can find. As I said before, the owner Scott is willing to let me rent any of them. So if there are ones on there that you want to see or want to hear or want to compare side by side, please put it in the comments down below, and like and subscribe so that you can find me again and see those videos when I post them. In addition to all of that, I wanted to talk about what it means to work in a world-class recording studio. In the digital era where so many people can record and produce things at homes, recording studios have become fewer and fewer. And so it really begs the question, why would we as a band or would a label put forward the money for a recording studio rather than just have us work on it ourselves? Well, there is of course the convenience of having someone else press the record button, but I think it's more than that. Number one, working with someone like Scott is an educational experience in and of itself. Watching him work and watching the amount of detail and care that he takes with each individual track is something that I don't think we really understand when we record at home. In addition to that, his expertise of what sounds good in a mix can definitely help guide younger artists or even veteran artists as they're recording. In addition to that, you have an entire building that is built around the concept of getting a good sound. To tell you a story, the reason that we went in to mix this song for me, for my personal solo project, is that I recorded my own solo project back in 2018, and it's terrible. It sounds awful. I mean, I was a worse player then, so that's part of it. I was a worse singer then. I'm not a great singer now anyway, and it was even worse back then. But there's a label in the area who saw those songs and liked them enough to say we should re-release some of them. And so that's what we're doing. Now we're going back and we're getting a better product. And that's exactly what it comes down to. When you go to a recording studio, you are significantly more likely to get a better end product because you're working with someone who knows what they're doing. You're working in a space that is built to give you a good product, as opposed to a spare bedroom with 4 builder grade walls. Now, I'm not one to say that that's the only way to get a good product because I'd just be plain flat out wrong. There are so many examples of award-winning records that have been produced out of basements and spare bedrooms, and not just in this day and age. Some of you may not know that Boston's first record was produced out of the guitarist's basement, and that's a record that we're still listening to today. In addition to that, nowadays we have people like Billie Eilish, where her and her brother are recording in a bedroom and getting world-class Grammy-winning songs. But for those of us mere mortals, going into the recording studio can give us a better likelihood of getting a good product. In addition to that, and this will be my final word, the amount of creativity that comes in a studio is almost magical or spiritual. There's something about being in the studio that helps you tap into parts of your playing or parts of your songwriting that you probably didn't know. And I've had more moments of inspiration sitting in the control room than probably just about anywhere else. Of course, it is pricey, but it's an investment in your craft. So it might be worth it. In addition to that, I can't talk enough about Scott Wiley and the fact that he has invested so much of his own money and time into learning this craft. That, in my opinion, is the true secret of a recording studio, is a good engineer. That recording studio is incredible, the gear is incredible, and those rooms are magical. But without a good captain of the ship, it's not going to go anywhere. If you made it all the way through this part of the video, thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. Again, if you have some gear in that video that you'd be interested in seeing a video on or hearing, please let me know in the comments down below, as well as what are your thoughts on recording studios? Do you think they're worth it? Old school? Should just get rid of them? Let me know. My name is Mac Wright. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Go make someone else's day better, and of course, we'll see you around.